Longhorn Nation, you are listening to Burnt Orange Rising. The pride and winning tradition of the University of Texas will not be entrusted to the weak or the timid. Hey North, you ready? Let's get it.
What's up, Longhorn Nation? I'm your host, North Carter, and you are now tuning in to Burnt Orange Rising. So, 2025-2026 college football season came to an end last night with Indiana defeating Miami 27-21, and the ending was what I expected. I knew if it came down to Carson Beck at the end of the game, he was going to throw an interception. We've seen that so many times, and like I said in the last episode, I picked Indiana to win the game just because they had the better quarterback. Yeah, but I just can't trust Carson Beck in certain situations to not turn over the ball. And that's what he did. So congratulations to the Indiana Hoosiers on winning the national championship. I know that's huge for that fan base. They're a basketball school. I feel like they deserved it. Went 16-0, Heisman Trophy winner, great coach. I'm just going to say this right now. I'm the last person to expect Indiana winning the national championship. But congratulations, guys. A hell of a run. I think it's safe to say that the college football landscape has changed because of the transfer portal. Indiana had 7 4-stars on their team. So if Indiana can win a national championship with 7 4-stars, what does that say about our Texas Longhorns? What does that say? That makes me think that, okay, are we getting the wrong guys out of the portal? Are we recruiting the wrong way? Do we need to just focus on guys with more experience, focus on guys with certain different skill sets, focus on guys who aren't money hungry? I think there's a certain recipe now with the transfer portal that Texas should start looking into. Because obviously you don't need to play multiple players millions of dollars to win a national championship. And that brings us to our episode today. What does the 2026 Texas Longhorns football team have to do to win a national championship? And I can tell you right away, that's not going and trying to get the best, most expensive player out of the transfer portal. At this point, I feel like we can almost win with what we got. You saw what happened to Texas Tech. Yeah, Texas Tech elevated, but Texas Tech elevated in the Big 12 with minimal talent and minimal NIL funds. You bring that oil money over to the SEC and compete with the big dogs. That water deeper over here. Your ass better know how to swim. But yeah, Texas has been chasing in that transfer portal for the last few years now. Yeah, we hit gold a couple of times, but we haven't hit the jackpot. Yeah, we got Adonai Mitchell. Yeah, we got Matthew Golden. Yeah, we got Quinn Ewers, but Ewers should have been a Longhorn anyways if it wasn't for Tom Herman. We all know that story. Those were the days when Texas players who weren't on the team convincing recruits not to even come to Texas on their visits. All I'm saying is if Indiana can win a national championship without big game hunting in the portal, why can't Texas? Why can't we just dial in a little more and figure out what the secret recipe is? What do we need to elevate this team? Do we need some pieces here? Do we need some pieces there? Do we need to get guys that's been around for 6 or 7 years and know that they don't have any hope in the NFL, but they want to win a championship? Or do we just need to develop better? Do we need to develop the talent that we already have? Because we already got the talent. We've recruited well for forever. The first thing I think that Texas needs to do is get the offensive line right. Don't wait till we get to the heart of the SEC play and Arch Manning is getting sacked 6 times a game. This is Arch's last year, I'm predicting, or I think it would be his last year. We cannot waste it. Let's get that offensive line figured out in fall camp. And Kyle Flood, that falls on you. Find your 5 best guys, the 5 guys that you know are dogs, that you know that's going to push someone to the damn bleachers. Let's find our 5 best guys and let's get them going in fall camp. Let's get that rotation going early. We don't have time to wait, especially with our schedule. Have y'all seen that 2026 SEC schedule? And we're opening up to Ohio State at home. We need to get that figured out right away, expeditiously. We got to get that going, and we got to get that going quick. Kyle Flood, I'm putting you on notice. We get into the Ohio State game and Archer gets sacked 4 times or more, or it looks like Archer can't throw the ball because he doesn't have enough time, or it looks like Archer's out back there running for his life. That's on you. Because you knew what the problem was, and it's on Sark too, because he saw what happened this year with that O-line. Sark knows who's in control of that offensive line. I don't care about you putting Kevin Banks and other offensive linemen in the NFL. I don't care. What I care about is you got an offensive line that's going to protect their quarterback, that's not going to get called every other play for holding, that's not going to get us in trouble with false starts, not going to look like they don't need to be out there when it's time to run block. And that's another thing. Area number 2. For this Texas team to compete for a national championship in 2026, we have to figure out the running game. We got to get it going. Gone is Bijan. Gone is Trey Wisner. Gone is Jaden Blue off to the NFL. Those guys are gone. You don't have those guys anymore. They're either NFL or they transferred out. We have to figure out who we can rely on in the running game because last year was terrible. It was embarrassing. I don't know if we even had a running rush for 800 yards. The only good runner that I saw out there was Arch Manning, and that's when he was running for his life because the offensive line couldn't block for anybody. Outside of Arch Manning, I don't even know if we had a running back bust a long play for over 50 yards or over 40 yards. That's how bad it was. TJ Baxter looked like he was running on one leg. He shouldn't have been out there half the time. Trey Wisner hop skipping and jumping into lanes that aren't even open. It looked terrible. Now I'm hoping this new running back coach from Florida can get us right because what I saw last year made me sick to my stomach. And we lost games because we couldn't run the ball. We lost games because Arch had to throw the ball and couldn't rely on the run game. We lost games because we had to run our quarterback instead of handing the ball off to our 4- and 5-star running backs who couldn't even get 2 to 3 yards. That's absolutely terrible. Something has to be done, and you got to get that fixed in fall camp. Now, I'm hoping that Hollywood Smothers and Raleek Brown can change things. If we bring these guys in and we see the same thing that we see last year, it's not a personnel problem. It's a systematic problem. And I think that all starts with the O-line. But we got to develop a great running game, especially in the SEC. We can't rely on Arch Manning's arm. We can't rely on Arch Manning's legs all the time. We just can't. We need some dogs in that backfield. We got to get it going. And we got to get it going quick, fast, in a hurry. Like I said, Ohio State coming to DKR. I'm sure Texas will be ranked in the top 5. And I don't know why. Probably based on the talent that they have on the team. And I'm sure Ohio State will be ranked in the top 5. Another top 5 matchup. And I want blood. I want to beat the Buckeyes. Outside of the run game, I think Sark needs to put his best players on the field, and that's at wide receiver. In comes Cam Coleman from Auburn. He got Dalen McCutcheon, Mosley, Ryan Wingo, and some other young guys who really didn't touch the field last year. But that doesn't matter to me. What I care about is identifying your best receiving core, your 3 or 4 best receivers, your 2 or 3 best tight ends, and let it rip. I don't care if they're a senior. I don't care if they're a redshirt freshman. I don't care if they're a true freshman. We need to identify who our best guys are. We need guys who aren't going to drop the ball on 3rd and 5 on a drag route or a quick slant. We need guys who aren't going to drop the ball because they think the sun got in their eyes on a go route and it's 3rd and 10 and then Arch throws a perfect pass. We need some speedsters and we need sure hands. Now, Ryan Wingo, I hope you work on catching this offseason because I gave you a pass this year. You dropped way too many balls. I don't care if they were thrown behind you a yard. You're a 5-star athlete. You got to make those catches. If it touch your hands, you need to catch it. Too many times I saw us get in a position when the wide receiver dropped the ball that could have helped us either get a first down or get in the red zone. Too many times. Or a touchdown. I saw Ryan Wingo drop a pass from a go route where he could have scored on. The freshmen some passes for their drops. But you juniors and seniors, there's no excuses. Stop dropping the ball. If you got to get in that jug machine after practice, 30, 45 minutes an hour, I don't care, but they got to get fixed. Catch the ball. I'm sick of it. And Sark, get your best guys on the field. That goes for the O-line, running back, wide receiver. I don't care what year they're in. I don't care if they're a coach or guy. I don't care if their parents donated money to the school. I don't care if they show up to practice early. I don't give a flying turtle. Get your best guys on the field. You paying them. Let them play. Don't spend $500,000 on a 5-star freshman receiver and don't play him. Let's see what he can do. What do we have to lose at this point? And with that being said, we got to get more creative with the play calling. I think this year was the first year that I saw fans that were actively angry about Sark's play calling and wanted Sark to get an OC. I know he was asked in his media availabilities about potentially getting an offensive coordinator. He said that's what he does. He calls the plays. That's what he's always done. That's what he wants to do. He didn't seem like he wanted to change his mind about getting someone in here. And I know the fans didn't like that. The fans think that Sark got stale with play calling. The fans think that Sark's play calling was lackluster, not creative, not beneficial for Arch to get him out of certain situations. And in some cases, I feel like that was the case. And I don't know if there was something going on behind the scenes. I don't know if Sark didn't have certain trust in Arch. But next year, there's no excuses. The talent's going to be there. Arch is going to have the experience. Let it rip. I need it whenever we come out against Ohio State. I better see the best script that was ever written. I mean, you better have a script that can win an Oscar. That's how good that script better be. Sark has to get more creative with play calling. That hurt us this year, especially in the Florida game that we lost. You knew the O-line wasn't good. Plan around that. Plan around the weakness of your offense, and that was the O-line. Maybe you should have got the ball out of Arch's hand more quicker, more quick screens, more drag routes, more quick slants, more RPOs, more out routes. I didn't think that Sark adapted to what he was seeing out there, and it showed. And then when the play calling was good, when the script was good, we get into the third quarter, he just stops. I thought it was all gas, no brakes. And the third quarter is all brakes, no gas. I don't understand when Texas gets the lead in a game that the play calling gets conservative. No, stay aggressive. That's why Vanderbilt came back. The play calling got so stale. The play calling got conservative. And when that happens, the defense gets tired because teams are throwing go routes, trick plays. They're doing whatever they can to catch up. And the defense is getting tired. Texas is getting off the field because there's too many 3-and-outs. The defense is getting back on the field. And that's how leads are lost. And we saw that happen this year. Stop getting conservative in the third quarter and in the fourth quarter. Keep your foot on the gas. If it's all gas, no brakes, then let that be the case. We can't keep getting conservative in the second half. And that's been Sark's MO. And that's another thing that had the fans complaining this year. The play calling and the lack of aggressiveness in the third quarter, in the second half. Tale that's old as time. We've seen that so much in the Sark era. I'll give him credit, though. He can make one hell of a script. Those first 12 plays, man, that's camera action. After that, I don't know if he can't develop to what the defense is giving him or what, but it gets lackluster, it gets boring, it gets conservative, and that allows the other team to jump on us. We got to get more creative and more aggressive, just like on defense, which is a whole nother different area. Blake Gideon comes back to the 40 acres. Welcome back, BG, product of Leander High School. It's good to have you back. I know the secondary got to be happy about that. Blake Gideon is a great secondary coach, and I know some fans are still salty about that drop to Texas Tech. It's time for y'all to get over that. Hey, it hurts me too. It hurts me. I remember watching that game with my friends. We had a big screen in the backyard. I thought for sure Texas was going to beat Texas Tech. I knew it was going to be a close game, but I thought for sure, Tech can't beat Texas. And we had a chance. Ball in the air. Blake looked like he about to catch it. Goes right through his arms. My cheer turns into hell, that quick. And the Texas fans have not let that go since then. And now, can I blame them? Because it did hurt. Because if he would have caught that ball, that would have been game. No crapshoot miracle. Texas on to national championship. But, we got to let go. That's called growth of Longhorn Nation. We got to let that go. Welcome back, Blake Gideon. Let's get to work. With Gideon being back, I expect the safety play to go up big time. Y'all saw what he did whenever he was here. Turned Michael Taff into All-American. Now, let me ask you a question. Michael Taff or Jelani McDonald look like All-Americans in that last half of the season? Not to me, but hey, Blake Gideon can develop. Blake Gideon knows what it's like to win at Texas. Blake Gideon knows the standard here. Welcome back. I'm glad to have you back, and I'm interested to see what Will Muschamp's going to do with this defense because we need more exotic blitz. That's something that PK just refused to do. He'll send that little corner blitz sometimes with Malik Mohabed. He'll send that safety blitz sometimes with Taff. But other than that, I didn't really see too much. I felt like he played the hits. Keep everybody in front of you. Don't let them score. Bend but don't break defense. No, I want an aggressive defense. I want to be on the prowl. I want to attack. I want that quarterback to understand when he plays against the University of Texas and that defense, it's going to be a long day. So go ahead and pack a lunch. That's the defense that we need. We need some dogs out there. We got the talent. Only dogs I saw out there was Colin Simmons, Jelani McDonald, the young buck Grayson Littleton, Hero Canoe, Anthony Hill, who's gone, and the freshman Lance Jackson. We need some guys out there who's going to attack and keep attacking. And also, I'm sick and tired of seeing this play 10 yards off the ball, 10 yards off the receiver on 35. You just give up a quick, easy first down. Get on top, play press, more press coverage. That's what Kobe Black was recruited for. That's what some of your guys were recruited for. Long, lengthy, strong. They love to play press coverage. Let them press. PK never let his guys press. And that's why we got beat so much on third down. And then when we did press, we got beat over the top because they didn't even know what to do when they did press because they weren't used to being into it. So much I seen this team get beat by receivers because they were playing soft coverage. Instead of getting in their face, getting their hands on them, and fighting for the ball. And Will Muschamp's going to change that. And expect those linebackers and those edges to be active as well. That's what a Will Muschamp's defense is. The only thing that I think about right now is him hitting the chalkboard and telling everybody to do their damn job. I need everyone to do their damn job. That's what I need.
And they're running zone G and they're running chop. We call chop. We got to get there. The bucket's got to get there and get flat. Corner's got to come through. The safety fits outside. Will's got to be here. Does everybody see that? Gap control. Everybody just do your job. You understand that?
I need that Will Muschamp energy. on the defense. I know some people thinking, well, what has he done? Well, he hasn't coached. He hasn't done this. Was he not at Georgia? You think Kirby kept Will Muschamp around because his name sounded good? Because of what he did in the past? Nope. You think that defense was good just because of Kirby Smart? Nope. I guarantee you Will Muschamp had a hand in that. And he's been around Kirby. So you better believe he understands what the standard is. He understands that winning standard. He understands what a good defense should look like. And he's going to bring that to Texas. He better. As I look at Texas' schedule, I think they need to beat the teams that they're supposed to beat. You cannot lose to a team with less talent than you, less motivation than you have, worse coaches than you have, and that are in a worse situation than you are, like Florida. Although Florida had talent, there's no reason why Texas should have lost that game. Beat the teams that you are supposed to beat if you want to play for that national championship. Stop getting into overtime with the Kentuckys and the Mississippi States. Stop losing to the teams that are firing their coaches. Stop waiting to the third quarter to put up points against San Jose State and UT El Paso. Some of those teams coming to town, you put up 50 or 60 against them, just like VY and Colt McCoy used to do. Y'all remember those 64-0, 64-3, 55-3, 60-10 victories? That's what we need. Don't just beat the team, blow them out. Make them regret even coming to Austin. Make them regret even thinking they had a chance against the University of Texas. Beat the teams that you're supposed to beat. It's that simple. Stop underperforming against teams that you shouldn't underperform against. And with that being said, you got to beat your rivals. Obviously, that game in Dallas against OU is going to be a tough one. It always is. Texas gets to play Parker Livingston again. I'm not really worried about John Mateer. We saw what he did. And John Mateer gave me nothing to believe that he's the guy that's going to leave OU to the promised land. I think Texas is ahead of OU right now. Not only in recruiting, but in talent as well. And at the quarterback position. Now, the haters can say whatever they want. That's fine. But just no one who's going to tell me that Arch Manning didn't have a better season than John Mateer. And I don't care if he has surgery on that hand. He chose to come back early. He chose to play. You know what he was getting into? If that was the case, sit out. There is no doubt in my mind right now that Arch Manning is top 3, top 2 quarterback in the SEC. And Mateer ain't nowhere on that list. You got to go into Dallas and beat OU next year. I don't even care if you say, well, if we lose OU and they're good, they're ranked, well, we still got a chance. Don't leave it to chance. Go and handle business, Texas. Beat OU, beat Arkansas, and then in that season finale, beat those Aggies again. Go 3-0 against the Aggies. That's going to be a good game. That's going to be back in College Station. You know that stadium's going to be loud. Marcel Reed going to be out there again. They hate us, and we hate them too. But we got to keep little brother at bay. That's going to be a good game, especially if both teams come in ranked. A&M schedules look like it's going to be pretty easy, just like this year. I wouldn't be surprised if they come in that game 10-1, 11-0, just like last year. It's going to be a good game. Texas, you got to come out with the dub. By that time, if we're healthy, we should be firing on all cylinders. There should be nothing holding us back. If you beat your rivals and beat all the teams that you're supposed to beat, there's no reason Texas shouldn't be in the college football playoffs next year. There's no reason Texas shouldn't be playing the SEC championship. Now, I know y'all going to say, should Texas play in the SEC championship? Is it worth it? Then you have time to prepare for your opponent, get your players rested, things like that. Well, Indiana did. Indiana won a national championship. Even now, if you look, the teams that are taking breaks are the teams that got blown out and lost games. Let us keep playing then. We can rest after the season. Turn this into an NFL season. Let us get as many games as we can then, if that's the case. If that's what the model is showing you. If that's what the statistics are showing you. Yeah. Beat the teams that you're supposed to beat. Beat your rivals. Stay healthy. And Texas will be in the college football playoffs. Now, once we get in the college football playoffs, that's a different story. Matchup obviously matters. Texas is not going to get out-talented by anyone. Maybe Oregon, maybe Ohio State. Once again, and I find myself getting tired of saying this, Texas has one of the most talented rosters in the country. So they're not going to get out-talented by anyone. Now, they may get their talent matched by Ohio State, by Oregon, by Georgia. But, that's an even playing field. Now, all that matters is whose concept is better, who wants him more, which coaches make the best decisions. And I know at some point next year, whether it's the CFP, whether it's the SEC championship, we're going to have to go through Georgia again. And Sark, at some point, you got to beat Kirby. That's the only thing that's holding you back from being elite coach in college football is you can't beat Kirby Smart. You got to beat Kirby at some point. When you play against Georgia, Kirby going to have trick plays, fake punts, fake kicks, going for it on 4th and 22. Kirby don't give a damn. Kirby's going to throw everything but the kitchen sink at you. And Sark, you got to be able to do that too. You got to match fire with fire, iron on iron, skill on skill. None of that passive stuff because Kirby ain't going to be passive. And at some point next year, I believe Texas is going to run into Georgia again. And when we do, I hope the coaches have learned their lessons from the last matchups. You got to try something different. It's not working. Be more aggressive. Understand that Kirby's going to be aggressive. Match his intensity. Do I think Texas will make it to the national championship next year? My heart says yes, But my brain said we just got to wait and see. We just have to wait and see. Because if you know, like I know, we're going to have some big injury in fall camp. Might have an injury during the season. We're going to drop a game that we shouldn't even drop. That's what always happens. And I've yet to see that this coaching staff has a formula to fix it. So until I see it get fixed, my optimism level is low. Do I think Texas will make it to the CFP? Yes, they should. They almost did this past year. I mean, the final AP poll just came out, and I was laughing because Texas finished number 12 and OU finished number 13. You know, those voters knew exactly what they were doing. Do I think Texas was a better team than OU this year? Hell yes. Do I think OU got the luck of the draw? Yes. Okay, yeah, they beat Alabama, but I didn't even think Alabama was that great. They beat LSU, but LSU sucked. I need to see OU play Georgia, A&M, Ole Miss, Alabama in the same season. See what happens. Just for kicks. Go ahead and throw Florida in there. I need to see that just to see what will happen. If Texas wins a national championship next year, it will be because this team came together. This team trusted the process. This team trusted their coaches. And most importantly, this team trusted each other. They understood that it wasn't about the money. It was about representing the University of Texas. And they bleed burnt orange. I understand this is a huge if, but Texas is certainly capable of doing this. Texas also has to become more disciplined. You can't be one of the most penalized teams in the country anymore. You can't have a big play break off and commit a holding penalty and bring it back. We saw that happen too much last year. Texas also has to understand that everyone wants to beat Texas. If a 1 in 10 Mississippi State comes in, understand that they want to beat you. Just because you're Texan, they can say, hey, we may not be going to a bowl game. When I go to dinner this weekend with the fam, people be patting me on my back because they don't understand that we beat Texas. And they can hang their hat on that for a whole decade. They don't care if they lose the other 11 as long as they beat Texas. That's Arkansas. You beat Texas, that means something over there. And Texas have to understand that. Everyone wants to knock them out of the college football playoff race. Everyone hates Texas. We don't just say Texas versus everybody because it sounds cool. That's the case. It's Texas versus everybody. And if these players can understand that and grasp that concept, we'll be in good shape. You got to bring your A game every game. You got to be on your toes and have your head on a swivel every single play. You got to be disciplined. You can't make stupid mistakes. You have to be the best version of you. You have to hate losing more than you love winning. You have to understand the pride and tradition that comes with being a Texas Longhorn football player and a part of this university. If we can do that, there's no reason why I can't see why we won't be holding up that trophy next year. But we got to believe. And we got to fight. It's going to be a long season. The haters are going to be out in full force. You're going to come into this season highly ranked. Arch Manning's going to get a lot of love. You got Cam Coleman. You got 2 great running backs. You got a new defensive coordinator. Sark's back. Everyone's going to be talking about Texas. Block out the noise. Don't worry about that. Everyone always talks about Texas. What can you do to better this team? What can you do to not only make people believe that Texas deserves the hype, but actually believe that Texas can beat anyone in the country? Anyone. And they deserve that number 1 spot. All right, Longhorn Nation, that's my time. As always, it's been a pleasure. We'll have this Texas softball preview dropping for you this week, so look out for that. I'm your host, Nord Carter. This has been Burnt Orange Rising. If you would like to support the show, please like, follow, subscribe, and leave a review. And also, give us a follow on X at Burnt O Rising. It's at Burnt O Rising. Till next time, hook 'em.